Hello everybody, I'm Chandan Deshmukh. I'm a Bengaluru guy, TEDx speaker, author, engineer, and a skydiver. I'm very much excited to be on this platform and meeting you all. I think we have participants coming in, joining us, and during these tough times, you have taken some time out of your schedule and joined us. Thank you for that. Today, for the next few minutes, we'll be speaking about, the tough times and how we can, surpass these, along with few tips and techniques on the dream job for your kid, for your teen. And having spoken to more than 1,000 students in the last 2 years alone, I think I have I have few ideas about what they want in life and how they want to pursue their thought process. Yeah, and this is the first time I'm facing the parents.
We're
These
a tough crowd, huh?
so thank you for your support in advance. And I have been traveling India and the world in the past few years, and in the last 2 years alone, I spoke to around 20 institutions. I've been there, spoken to the students, the teenagers, and it's not very far since my teenage. So having said that, I'm a parent now. I have a 8-month-year-old kid, 8-month old kid now. So I'm at a juncture where I'm not too young nor too old. Yeah. So I have the best of both the worlds. So I think I can speak a word or two about what you can expect out of your kid, and how you can encourage your kid to overcome these tough times and beyond. So having said that, I would like to give a brief idea about what went through my childhood. I was a below average student during my schooling. Below average, yeah, just the passing marks. And all my friends were in the top ranks, first rank to 10th rank. I was the odd man out. My teachers used to call me butterfly, because I used to sit at one place and wander around in my mind. So but one day changed the whole perspective, which is the most horrible, horrendous, terrible, tremendous day in the life of a student. Few people tell
Test
me
day. Test
examinations, right?
day.
uh, but most of the students tell me it is the parent teacher meeting. Huge. Yeah. So one day, I went to the staff room with my mom. I had a smiling face because my father was busy that day. I went with my mom. As soon as I entered the staff room, my class teacher had all the updated complaints about me, right from getting 5 out of 25 in social studies, pulling Tina's hairband, making animal sound in the class and pretending innocent, whatnot. And then my class teacher unveiled the marks card. It read C plus, as if adding one more plus would have made my future resume strong. So that day, friends, I decided one thing. Uh, my class teacher is my enemy. Yeah, that is a typical thought which every student gets. So and then I started studying my top ranked students more than that of the textbooks. Yeah, what they were doing different, which I wasn't aware of. Then I unearthed multiple plethora of secrets which I have later unveiled in my books, as a best practice as well. uh, so I have seen the best ranked student, the top ranked students firsthand. I was a below average student, and then with time, using those techniques, I became an average student. Yeah, above average student. So as they say, donkey cannot become a horse. A donkey can become a better donkey. Yeah. So in the next few slides, I'll start sharing my presentation to walk you through those 6 secrets. Yeah, which you all are waiting for. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, any specific questions, please feel free to pour it out in the chat box. I hope you know where to chat. There are few buttons. Just click of a button, you'll get the chat box open, and feel free to ask any question. Any question. Yeah, great. So with that thought, let me start sharing my screen now. Great. So welcome again to the to the session, and today's topic is about parenting and how to handle your kids during the difficult time, and what are the tips and techniques which we can go through. As I said, I may be a new parent, but I have a keen eye on the students which whom I have spoken to, and I have researched in the Pennsylvania Institute in New Jersey. Yeah, so let's move ahead. As I said, please throw any questions at me, and we'll take it with a pinch of salt. Moving on. So these are the two books which have sold more than 1.2 lakh copies. And I was featured in these media houses: Times of India, Hindu, the radio stations, so on and so forth. Yeah. Now let's jump onto it. The first secret, which I want to tell you, is that for all your teenagers, for all your kids, and if you're a kid watching this session, for you as well, I request you to broaden the career option. Um, if you see the Paleolithic age, during the Paleolithic age, thousands of years ago, there were only two jobs: hunter, gatherer, right? So now we have come a long way. Now, people are creating jobs. Did you, 50 years ago, if somebody told you that you could make a living by just speaking, people would have had a belly burst laughter, right? Now, radio jockeys, the YouTubers, they're making millions of dollars every month. Nobody, nobody were aware of it. PUBG, Fortnite games have come in, aquaponics, a lot of things in the agricultural field, mining, not only technology, even in terms of even in terms of all the fields, consider all the fields, things have changed, right? So gone are the days wherein you had to pigeonhole yourself into either being an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, right? So now things have completely changed, and now you may also ask, what about the paycheck, right? So let's see in the coming slides. Yeah. So first point is we need to broaden the career options and not narrow them into three jobs alone. Yeah. We'll see in the subsequent slides about this point now. So these are the snippets from few newspapers. Yeah. And mind you, these are pre-COVID. Pre-COVID. If you see, physicians are losing jobs. Government offices, I mean, the jobs which were meant to be forever, right? So BSNL cut the workforce. IT workers, obviously, massive layoffs. Lawyers, through legal algorithms, they are losing jobs. So why do you think we are losing jobs? Yeah, few may tell me that that it is because of the autonomous or the because of the government policies, or few others tell me that it is because of the automation in place, because of robotics, people are losing jobs. But few analysis by Stanford universities uh, tells that it's far from the truth. Yeah. For 11 hours a day, for the rest of your life, your kid will be either working or thinking about work. right? And as per a survey, guys, 80% of Indians hate their job. The reason for so many people being sent back home and not being employable is very simple. They don't like their job at all. Yeah. Some research say that out of 100 people, around 70% of the people are not skilled for the job. They're just there. Not only skilled, they don't like the job. It's not their sweet spot. They're just working just to get their paycheck and to pay the bills. They're not happy. Example, I have a friend, who likes to party, who is an extrovert, and he knows all the people in the office. Yeah, and then he was given a job, a desk job, to sit 9 to 5 and work with a laptop. No prizes for guessing. After a few years, he left the job. He turned out to be a DJ one day. So I know one more person who keeps things to himself, and who is very good in technical knowledge, but given a sales job, he went into a sales job just because it could get him a lot of money, good paycheck. Yeah. However, again, no praises for guessing. He left the job and he's looking into the coding job, into a software engineering. So what I'm trying to say is, you or your kid, you need to explore multiple options before zeroing in on a particular job. Yeah, whether it will suit you or not, that's very much vital. Else, some or the other day, your kid will break out. And considering the millennials, yeah, and the Gen X, Gen Y kids now, I'm sure I need not explain to you how difficult it is to, for them to follow your set of thought processes, right? So nowadays kids are getting into depression and a lot of difficulties in life, even during the late 20s. Yeah, just because they were not having their sweet spot. So let me reiterate the first point. Please broaden the career possibilities for your kid instead of zeroing in or narrowing them down. Yeah. So how to do that? That's a very good question. Yeah. So first, I have an exercise for you. Quick exercise. Just raise your productive hand. It might be your right hand. Yeah, where you write, right? It might be right hand. Just draw your signature in the air. Just like this, draw your signature in the air. Yeah, how did it feel? It felt natural, right? Now use your other hand, maybe your left hand, if you're a right hander. Just raise your other hand and draw the same signature in the air. How did you feel? Bit difficult,
Awkward.
right? It was awkward, right? Absolutely. So there's your answer for you. There are few things in life which are natural to you, which are, just like back of your hand. uh, and it doesn't take much of your energy in order to do such activities. Yeah. It might be difficult, but not so difficult as the other activities. Yeah. So any job comes with a pros and con. Absolutely. There are few activities which you might not be interested, but the predominant part of the activities you might be comfortable doing it with, right? So those are the jobs, or the career paths which your kid has to follow, your teenage kid has to follow in future. Yeah. So, and those things doesn't come in a jiffy. It's not a overnight activity, right? So there is a lot of brainstorming which goes through. So I request you to sit with your kid and tell him or her to list out all the positives which he or she has. Yeah. So based on those activities, he or she can pursue the path, right? And not only that, there is one more technique called as MBTI. Example, I'm a software engineer now. Do you think in my schooling, I already knew that I want to be a software engineer. That would be my dream job. Not at all. So during the tail end of my schooling, I went through this test called as MBTI. That's Myers-Briggs theory technique. Yeah. So there are set of questions which are generic in nature. It doesn't require physics knowledge, mathematics knowledge, biology, no such things. Common sense, common questions, just like, what kind of activities do you like? Do you like partying or not? So on and so forth. There are a list of 50 questions. Yeah. And I request your kid to go through that. You can, guide your kid to do that. And how to do that? I have written the book about it, 7 dream jobs and how to find them, right? Sorry if this is mirroring the image, but just buy the book. It's cheaper than a McDonald meal. If you buy on Flipkart, it's less than around 150 rupees today,
Can
right?
you
So
repeat the test again? It's MBTI.
MBTI, Myers-Briggs theory test. Yeah. So that will help your kid to zero in on the aspects which he or she will be very comfortable with. Yeah. And it will not only tell you the personality, but also the probable jobs which he or she can take up in future. Yeah. Example, I am INTJ, as per the MBTI. So as per the MBTI, I'm INTJ, and the jobs which are listed for the INTJ, I have chosen one of them. That is the software engineering, along with the writing. Even the writing comes under INTJ. So I am in my sweet spot currently. So I request you to, do the same exercise for your kid, right? So
Chandra,
please go ahead,
couple of
Sukirti.
questions. What
Please,
age
yeah.
should students do this test? Where is it available? And what is INTJ?
Okay. That's a very good question. Thank you, Sukirti. So, at what age? I would suggest during the 10th standard, maybe at around 15 years of age, that would be the perfect time to go through this test. Yeah, and I have mentioned all the steps, what to do and what not to do in my book, and it's a easy to read. It's a page turner. That's what I've heard, and that shows in the statistics as well. We have sold more than 1.2 lakh copies, yeah, of the books. So I mean, many parents and the students tell me that it has helped them a lot in finding out their sweet spot and the job which they want. Yeah. And MBTI, it says that there are 16 type of personalities in the world, broadly classified. That doesn't mean that there are only 16 type of people. All the people in the world are unique. Your kid is unique, right? Yet if you draw few traits, few personalities, there are common features which are clubbed together into 16 broad buckets. Yeah. So those buckets are known as 16 personalities, and your kid will fall under one of those categories. And it need not be that the brother is one of the personality, and the sibling is also the same personality. Need not be, because my brother is a civil engineer, and it was also through the MBTI, and he's looking after the contracts and the building constructions, which I can never do that because it's not my strength at all. So it doesn't matter what genes your kid has, or what education the kid's parents had, right? It depends on their own personality. So I request you to go through the MBTI technique in order to find the dream job, and it is just one of the ways to find the dream job for your kid. Yeah. So let's take one more question. Maybe let me
Yeah, so a lot of
yeah,
people have had, I mean, I think a lot of questions are coming up with
please,
MBTI.
please.
Results can be ambiguous for ambiverts. Is it the best test? It's a paid test. Do you need somebody that has a certified psychometric trainer? How does one go about even going through this MBTI?
Yes, that's a good question. So MBTI, it's a copyrighted test. Yeah. So you can take it either online or through career counselor. However, career counselor, he'll be providing he or she will be providing a list of page papers a stack of papers. So writing that, answering would be difficult, and that to considering these times, difficult times, and where you will have to do some social distancing thing. So I would suggest take an online test. It's available online. Just Google for MBTI test online, and there are few free tests and there are few paid ones. I would suggest go for paid ones because they give you a comprehensive result. Yeah, and it's not very costly. You'll not be selling your arm and leg. It'll cost maybe around 100 rupees, or maybe 500 rupees, within 1,000 rupees. Yeah, so I think it's worth the price. It's worth the price. Yeah. So yes. Shall we go back to the slide,
Yes.
Sukirti, or should
Go
we?
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. So I think we will come back to MBTI versus some other tests. Lots of
Sure.
questions about that.
Yes, definitely. And sometimes, MBTI doesn't work. I'll tell you how. I had a neighbor, same age. The girl, she was, below average student, just like me. You know, However, her her grandmother died of cancer, and she was very much close to her. Yeah. And that made a dent in her life, and that day she took an oath saying that, come what may, I'll become a oncologist, a doctor. Yeah. So that other kids like me shouldn't face the same wrath what I faced. And guess what, she turned out to become an oncologist. So there are few things which makes a great impact on your mind, that will decide your future as well, like the example which I just quoted. And there is one more example. I have a friend of mine who did his computer science engineering. Okay. However, he went back to Orissa, where he is based out of, and he became a priest out of choice, because that was his sweet spot. And he wanted to be an engineer just because somebody challenged him during his childhood. So there are few things which are out of the MBTI, just like what I said: culture, your turning points, and some treacherous activity, or some instance which has put a huge mark on your mind. So except those aspects, MBTI is completely accurate. That is what I can say. So just to summarize, there are three ways to find your dream job. One is finding the sweet spot using the MBTI, as I said. Second is the childhood experience, as we mentioned. Third is the side hustle. We'll talk about this in the next point. Yeah. So far, any questions, Sukriti, you want to
Yeah, I mean,
highlight?
I think a lot of questions still about the MBTI, like a lot
Please.
of I think, but we'll come back to that in the
Sure.
Q&A.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
So
So
we
can
will
we
take all
move
the
forward?
questions on the MBTI, career counseling, all of this in the Q&A.
Excellent. Excellent. So can we move ahead with the slides,
Yes.
Sukriti?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thanks. The second secret which I want to tell you is about the Sunday project. Please let your kids start a Sunday project. Simple words. So, what is a Sunday project? On a daily basis, during the weekdays, we are obligated to do few activities. For a teenager, he or she has to be a student. For you, you have to go to office and bring the bread home, right? So on and so forth. However, on a weekend, say a Sunday, we are what we are, right? So I request you to guide your kid to start a Sunday project. Take out 2 or 3 hours in a week to do something out of the box. It can be it can be coding, or it can be starting a science project, or it can be learning musical instrument. Yeah, it can be anything, or starting a website, a blog. It can be anything, but let your kid start a Sunday project. Please, I request you, because I have seen many colleagues of mine, yeah, who who don't know anything but work, who are just like robots. And I don't want any of your kids to become robots in future, right? So they have to have something of their own, some kind of hobby, some passion, you know. Maybe that passion, some that Sunday project which you sow the seed today, it might become a paycheck in future for your kid, or else it can be just a hobby which can take the nerves off during the life of your kid, right? So I request you to encourage your kid to start a Sunday project. Let your kid fail, let your kid fail, no problem, but let the kid start a Sunday project. And please emphasize that it takes around 10,000 hours for your kid to master that. Example, I'll tell you. I have a friend who started piano. Yeah, during childhood, he started piano. After 5 classes, you know, he just left the piano class. He started mridangam after a few days, and then he stopped again. He started playing one more musical instrument, so on and so forth. He was just running the rat race. So please tell your kid to fail, yet continue doing the process, because starting any of the activity or starting a project or continuing it, it takes a lot of hard work. Nothing comes easy, right? And considering millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, they want everything in a jiffy. You already know that, right? So if they want something, they want it immediately. And technology is also in the similar way. Amazon Prime now, you get it now, right? You just order something, you get it now. Maximum by tomorrow, you have it on your desk, right? So now the lifestyle is also so fast. You go to McDonald, right? You get it within 3 minutes. You order something on the Domino's app, you get it within 30 minutes. Everything is immediate, right? So you want some information, you get it on Google. Example, I was just looking at one of the kid there, and his mom was telling, hey, don't chew the chewing gum, it is made of pig fat, and so on and so forth. Immediately the kid opened the Google app, saw, and said, mom, no, you're wrong. So they have, the information is very quick, and they want everything in a jiffy. But life doesn't happen that way, right? You already know that. So please emphasize that it's okay to fail, yet you need to follow what to take up. You need to finish what to take up. And to reiterate, let your kid start a Sunday project, right? So any questions on this point before we go ahead, Sukirti?
No, let's move forward.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Third point, this might pinch some people, sorry about that in advance. Your
What do
kid
you
is
mean by that? We're not all special. I already am taking offense. Forget my kids.
your kid is not special to the world yet. Raja beta, Shonu beta, it's at your home. Your kid is special only to you, not the world. And I request you to convey this point to your kid, well in advance. Maybe once he or she, matures, in the sense around 14, 15 years of age, please make that straightforward. Tell them he or she is not special to the world. I'll explain you why. Yeah. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So I hope you can see this slide. I'm sorry if the font is very small. So on your left hand side, it is the, consider a typical kid now. Yeah. A 15 years kid. And to your left hand side, it is the kid's parents' life expectation when the parents were young. Yeah. And remember, the kids' parents, they were brought up in a culture where if you had food in your stomach and you had a ceiling on your head, you were a huge success, right? So the kids' parents' life expectation was very simple. You put in hard work for around 30 years, 45 years, and then you'll have a stable life. You'll have some food in your stomach, stable one, and you'll have ceiling on your head. Yeah. However, with time, in the same quadrant, with time, there was boom in terms of the financial aspect, and our country saw some economic boom. And then somehow, the reality was much better than the expectation, and then that created a wowness factor in the parents. Yeah. And with the same positivity, the parents brought up the kids as well. That, example, if the kid's name is Preeti, world is a better place, you need not worry. It's a lot of positivity in nature. You are special, Preeti, you are special. So with that attitude, the parents brought up the kid. Yeah. And just imagine, on your right hand side, that is Preeti's life expectation. Yeah. So she feels that world is a better place. So as soon as I complete my 10th standard, within 5 to 8 years of hard work, I'll have a Lamborghini car. Maybe I'll become a president of the country, and I'll have an MBA from Stanford. And maybe once I'm back, I'll marry a rich lord, and I'll be the best person anybody can see, and I'll be on the cloud nine. So mind you, I have spoken to thousands of kids, and this is what their most of their life expectation looks like. That is because they have brought up with a lot of positivity at home, and none of the parents tell anything negative about the world, and they give whatever the kid asks. You want a two-wheeler bike, you get it. You want some laptop, a Mac of 1 lakh rupees, there you go, immediately next day, home delivery, Amazon Prime again, right? So your kid gets everything what it gets, right? So the life expectation is huge. However, mind you, the kid next door is also brought up with this similar background. Even their parents is also telling the kid that you're special, you can do whatever you want, right? You can achieve anything you want. However, here comes the twist, kahani mein twist, as they say. Let me share my screen again, sorry. Kids has, the kids have access to social media, and one of the kids, he has mentioned, I had been to Statue of Liberty, take a bow, I'm taking a break from studies. Another kid says, I secured first rank in second semester examination, thanks guys. Our Preeti, she's neither been to Statue of Liberty nor secured first rank in the exam. Now, till now, she has been brought up in a very positive atmosphere. She says that, I mean, she feels that she's the special alone. Yet, there are many people who have done much better than her. So that leads to envy, that leads to disappointment. Example, Prakash, he will look at the Facebook feed, and Julia and Ahmad, they are putting up the crafted image on the social media, right? However, the real image might be different. Yet our guy Prakash, he might start envying them, and disappointment kicks in, and they'll stop eating food, depression, therapy, so on and so forth. So as I said, going back to the previous slide, please tell your kid that your kid is not special to the world yet. Yeah. But she can pursue the sweet spot, and get better and be special to the world. But currently, he or she is not yet. Yeah. So please put this point across on the table. Now we'll go back to the questions. Sukirti, do you want to point out any questions, or should we go back?
I think a couple of questions. If your kid has an interest in more than one field, Alfaya is asking, how do you select a particular Sunday project?
Okay, excellent. That's a common question I get. So I would request the parents to experiment with two projects at a time, not more than that. I have seen kids who go to tutorials in the morning, you know, come back, go to flute classes, come back, go to Sangeeta, the singing classes, come back, go to the coding classes, and then, go back to grandma's place, learn some music there, and then come back, some puja classes, so on and so forth. Please don't make your kids life a firefight. Experiment, please, experiment, but only two at a time, not more than two. And let the kid, take a dip in those two aspects, instead of just window shopping. Let the kid get a hang of what he or she is doing, right? And then decide whether that's the perfect fit or not. Yeah, so thanks for the question.
Great. So Sashi is asking the question. I think this is about your book in specific, which
Okay.
is her daughter's in 12th standard in arts. Will this book be of help to her?
Absolutely. Why not? The book even helps the parents, in fact, because even they might not be in the dream job. As I said, 80% of Indians hate their job. So it definitely helps anybody who are looking to find the dream job and want to be better in future. Thank you
Great.
for asking.
Let's move forward because we've only covered three secrets yet.
Sorry, I may be slow, but I want to emphasize on few points. Thank you. So moving on, yeah, the fourth secret: encourage new study techniques. So I have seen a lot of parents. They say that padhai karo 16 hours a day. That is the secret to success. You know, many parents feel that if the kid can sleep for 7 hours a day, and for the other ablutions and food 1 hour a day, around 8 hours, remaining 16 hours should be for studying. Yeah, that is far from truth. That is far from truth. So things have changed now, and there are many techniques in the world, like goal setting, time management, memory techniques. There are techniques in which you can have the entire 500 book on your tongue. Yeah, figuratively. So there are many techs. There are many techniques in the market which you can explore in order to ensure that the kid studies in a smart way and not the hard way. Yeah. So as I said, in the memory techniques, pegging, acronyms, mind maps, there are many things in the market which the kid can learn in order to get better marks and do better. Yeah, and I have unveiled them in my book titled Six Secrets Smart Students Don't Tell You. As I said, I was a below average student and all my friends were in the top ranks. I studied all of them. I have made a book out of it. So as I said, it's cheaper than a McDonald meal. Please go ahead and buy it on Flipkart or Amazon, and your kid can study better. And there is one more technique called as Pomodoro. Yeah. So study in intervals, 50-10. Study for 50 minutes, take a break for 10 minutes. Not the other way around. Enjoy for 10 minutes, enjoy for 50 minutes, and then study for 10 minutes. So, so please encourage new study techniques. And there is one more point, linked to the same aspect: study only in the mornings. uh, Many people tell me that Chandan, come on, my parents are pushing me hard to wake up at 4:30 Brahmi Muhurta. They have to study during that time. That would be the best aspect. However, I can't wake up so soon. I need to I can sleep late, but during that time my concentration is much better. So for such parents, I would say, please encourage your kid to study at their own sweet time. Yeah. So it is not a hard and fast rule. Few students are nocturnal in nature. That's their trait. You can't beat that. You can't fight it. You can, but that might lead to other challenges. So I would request you to leave the student for their own specific time. Example, I'll tell you. Say you have a driving license examination. Yeah. So you have to take a driving license examination at 2:30 p.m. Mind you, 2:30 p.m. you would have just had your lunch and it would be your drowsing time. Yet, just 5 minutes before the driving test examination, you will skim through the book. Okay, this is the point. Yeah, yeah, fine. Immediately, you'll grasp the things, right? So it doesn't matter about the time. It only thing which matters is the concentration and the want to study. So there is no hard and fast rule about the timings. Let your kid decide it. So now back to questions. This was the fourth secret. Any
Yeah.
questions, please?
No questions yet.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you. Now let's go back to the slide. I hope you all are enjoying this session. Please chat in case you are not, because I can change the flow. End of the day, I want you all to benefit from this session because during these tough times, you have invested some time here, right? Uh, I want you to, get something out of it.
Well, Sashi was encouraging. She says, my kids study at night and sleep in the daytime. I was upset about it, but thanks for clarifying.
Wow, that's great. Happy to help. Thank you. Next secret. Even Sachin Tendulkar needed a coach, right? So doesn't matter if your kid is a genius or the other way around, right? But your kid will need a coach. I've seen a few parents, I had been to a few parent teacher meeting during the school sessions which I did. I just wanted to observe the parents, So few couple of parents in specific, they came to the teacher and started fighting with the teacher, saying that you are not good, you are not good. The kid is doing well. I know how my kid is all about. You are not doing well. I don't know why I pays fees to you. That too in front of the student, in front of the kid. So just imagine how that kid will behave during the classroom because the parents themselves are not giving respect to the kid, to the teachers. And do you expect the kid to do so? Not at all, right? So what I'm trying to say is, whatever your kid is, they will need a coach. They'll need teachers. Yeah. So tell them to respect the teachers. Yeah. And encourage them to talk to the teachers. Many kids, you wouldn't believe me, many kids feel that the teachers are aliens. They're from a different planet altogether because they don't know that even the teachers have families. No, this might be very crude, and you might not believe me, but they feel that they're aliens because they feel that it's just business. They just come in, they don't have family, they don't have fights at home. Even they're humans. Even they might make mistakes and they might have a bad mood that day, right? So encourage your kid encourage your kid to talk to the teachers and have a rapport with them, and also encourage your kids to say I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know. It's a huge possibility if the kid says I don't know, because the only way is to go up to learn more, right? So it's okay if the kid says I don't know. Yeah. And let the kid have a rapport with the teachers. So just to re-emphasize, even Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket, needed a coach. So your kid will also need a coach. Any questions so far?
No, I think that's pretty clear. But when you say coaching, a lot of people also believe in this extra coaching classes. I mean, this question is coming from me. So is that also putting a lot of pressure? Let's suppose a kid is very good in something. How much coaching should they be getting?
Okay, excellent question. So did you know that if you save all the money from the extra tutorials, the kid can become a millionaire by the time he or she graduates? So I would suggest not to take up the extra tutorials because it is in a similar environment. The kid will sit in similar 30 to 1 ratio, 30 kids, one teacher, in, and teaching the similar curriculum, right? And that also creates a shadow onto the regular schooling, because once the kid attends the school, he or she will feel, "Arey, anyways, I'll attend the extra tutorials. Why should I bother here? It's okay. It's okay." So that leaves a negative impact. Furthermore, that will go. Uh, that will have a negative impact on the overall holistic approach towards life, because the kid will spend around 2 hours in the tutorials. So to travel, it'll take around half an hour, to and fro 1 hour. So around 3 hours of the student life will be wasted, right? So instead of that, he or she can, do the homework, or study themselves using, as I said, in the fourth secret, using smart techniques like memory techniques, time management, goal settings, mind maps, so on and so forth. So I think the extra tutorials are a waste of time at this juncture. Uh, Previously, it was the norm, because not all the students had access to best teachers. Yeah, they were going to government schools, and even in the government schools, there were no good teachers. But now the tables have turned. The government schools have one of the best teachers, because a few teachers are there by choice. There are few IITians who have quit their well-paying jobs and joining the government schools to teach. So things have changed now, and kids have access to the best of the teachers. So extra classes, extra tutorials is just a waste of time, money, and energy.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Shall we move back to the
Yes.
slide? Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. And the sixth point, after, as I said, I'm a new parent. And just after my kid was born, my father told me this Subhashita. Lalayet panchavarshani, dashavarshani tadayet, praptetu shodashe varshe, putram mitavad bhavet. Okay. So it means that until the 5 years, you'll have to pamper your kid. For the next 10 years, discipline them. And then after the kid turns 16 years, treat them as your friend. So I think nowhere else in a sentence the parenting can be summarized, right? So I would suggest the parents as well as myself, to follow this Subhashita, and uh, and do well in parenting aspect as well. So I'm reachable on chandandeshmukh.com, and I've started one cartoon page as well, awkwardpage.com. So I'm reachable on these. If you have any questions, if you are shy to shout it here, no, you need not worry. I'm social on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, more on the Facebook front. Yeah. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.
I'll kick
Uh,
you off with the, oh, sorry. I'll kick you off with the first question, but we have lots coming in. So would you want to start the Q&A,
Sure.
Chandan?
So just before the Q&A, I would like to end my session with a quick story. Yeah. So long ago in South Africa, there was a balloon seller. In South Africa, the people are, I mean, they have a dark skin. So there was a kid who was observing this balloon seller. There were a lot of balloons in the air, the helium neon balloons which fly, right? So he was observing this guy. He was thinking, the red one flies, the white one flies. He went to the balloon seller. Uncle, I can see the red one fly, the white one also fly. You have a black one as well. Will that also fly? The balloon seller got the intent of the question. So he said to the kid, "Hey kid, come over here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color the balloon is. All that matters is what is inside of it." So, friends, it doesn't matter what your kid's caste, creed, religion, gender it belongs to. All that matters is what is inside of it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I'd like to kick off the first question from Damini. She had a very apt one. Damini, go ahead. Damini, I will ask the question for her. but she had asked that what if you have one particular idea and the kids have a very different idea? How do you kind of marry the two?
Okay, okay, sure. So, sure, it's a generic question, yet, um, the kid might be right. I mean, right? So, sometimes you cannot marry both, right? So, because there'll be poles apart. And if the point is, it's a huge one which can bisect the whole, the life goal as well as the path of the kid, then you'll have to convince the kid. You'll have to meet midway. Or else, if it is teeny tiny, which doesn't matter, then I think the kid has to have a say in it. Yeah. And the communication plays a vital role when it comes to the parent, and the kid, right? So gone are the days where the parents are very strict in nature. Even when the kid is around 18 years, the parents are very strict. No, you shouldn't do this, do that, and always having a grim face. That definition of a parent is long gone, right? So now we'll have to have a dialogue, a conversation. And I think you'll also have to start a weekly meeting with the kid. Yeah. So just have dinner, at least one meal a day together with the family, and start conversation there. That start giving a rapport, that start building a rapport. And I think, the kids will also look upon the parents as a role model, right? At least during the initial part of the life. So the communication plays a vital role. That's how we can make the uh, you know ends meet.
Shweta Gupta, you had a question, especially on the test. I would love for you to unmute. Go ahead, Sweta. Sweta.
Hi, Chetan. This is Shweta here.
Hi, Shweta.
So my question was around MBTI.
Okay.
So I remember taking MBTI when I was in college,
Okay.
and then as I started my career and built over it and so on, I realized my MBTI changed.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and dramatically, like I went from one spectrum to the diagonally opposite one.
Okay.
Okay, and it was when this happened I realized that MBTI, at least, and I spoke to a lot of different
Hmm.
people who's worked in this space, and they said MBTI has certain limitations, which you part of them you mentioned,
Yes.
and they spoke about some other tests which they had found more apt for this. So I wanted to check with you in case you have any other recommendations on alternatives to MBTI that may be more accurate.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. So, Sweta, I would suggest MBTI, because I don't know how you took the examination. Maybe that was right, but 98%, that is what the MBTI suggests, the success rate. So I think that's a very healthy rate. Nevertheless, having said that, MBTI, I mean, as you said, the spectrum also changes. Yes, that changes sometimes because of the life experiences. And it doesn't matter. You can change your job later on, because a few people will choose a particular job, and with time they feel that maybe another set of the career aspects can also be helpful. And not only, I mean, it is not only your choice, but also sometimes it is because of the nature as well. Example, um, the IT now, it has changed a lot than it was in the 90s, right? So now the kids are not looking at IT as a lucrative job, right? So even if the MBTI showcases the IT job, then they might take some other ones in the same spectrum. So MBTI might change, which is very minute percentage. Yet you can switch over to job, because people keep changing their jobs after some period of time. You get bored of doing something, and and then you change the aspect. So thank you for asking, Shweta. I would suggest MBTI. If not, having a dialogue with your kid, and working on the strengths would do better, instead of going for any other tests, because this has been a proved one. Even in case you are going with a new test, it might be or might not work, right? So you never know. So I would suggest work on the strengths of your kid. Example, if the kid is not good in one thing but is good in multiple things. Example, the kid is good in humor, and the kid can draw some cartoons, some drawing. Then he or she can become a cartoonist. It can be the Sunday project, just to explore. So working on the strengths is one of the best options other than MBTI, Shweta.
Perfect. Vandana, we would like you to ask your question. I am just asking you to unmute.
Thank you, Sukriti. Good evening, Chandan. Very, very informative talk. Quickly, I'll put my question.
Please, please go.
As Shweta also mentioned that the aptitude test, the graph changes, and children are when they are in the growing stage. Today, the child wants to become an air hostess. Tomorrow, she wants to become a teacher, and then she wants to become a radio jockey. So that graph continues to change. So, what do you think is an ideal stage, or what do you think, should be the direction of a child where we can take the child? Because I have this personal experience, that suddenly she digressed, a topper in the school, and she digressed from her commerce to something else, and let her have her own way. But I would like to know, and I'm actually in that PTA, I'm the T here, not the P here.
Okay.
So I represent a T here, and I am very curious to know what is the right age and what about the peer pressure, and see how it happens. An engineer is sitting in the bank after MBA in finance. So what was the point of doing engineering, or what was the point of doing that? Having a MBBS degree. So I
Exactly,
want some
exactly.
direction on that, please.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for representing teachers and also asking the question. Thank you, Vandana. So I think your question is apt, and it is right in the heart. So what I would say is, MBTI will zero in on the personality. Yeah, it will not zero in on the job. So based on the personality, there are multiple jobs which the child can take up. Example, if the kid is an extro, I'm just giving an example. If the kid is an extrovert and has a bit of logic, he or she can take up radio jockeying, the YouTubing, or else sales job, or else into marketing, or else even become a politician, right? So it doesn't the MBTI doesn't zero in on an exact job to take up, but it will give the personality trait on which you can decide on which aspect and which path to take up. Yeah. So in the book I have written the same aspect, because MBTI, the test itself, many of the career counselors and the internet in itself, not all the sources give the right aspect about the MBTI. They only tell that this is the personality and this is the only job to take up. No, that is absolutely wrong. So as I said, the personality will have multiple jobs, and your kid can choose any of those jobs.
So, last question before we sign off. Kamal, please go ahead. You've had your hand raised for quite a while. Kamal? No, I think. All right. There was also a question from Sachdeva. Do you want to go ahead and ask your question? She was asking whether, when you have any of these tests, do you need a coach or a counselor to help interpret the results of MBTI or any of these other psychometric tests?
Sure, sure. That can be done. Having said that, current considering the current aspect of social distancing, and you also don't know what kind of career counseling he or she is all about, right? So that would be the first interaction. You can't judge the competence of the career counselor as well. So I would request you to take up the MBTI test online from the official websites, and then explore on the jobs for your specific personality trait. As I said, there are 16 personality types based on MBTI. Yeah, and in example, I am INTJ, so I'll have to research on what all jobs INTJ can do better in, right? So that was the same exercise I did, and you can do the same exercise, and if you want to cut all those boring steps, then you can just purchased the book, and I have given the step-by-step method on how to find the dream job. Yeah, so you can do so. That is one way. Other way is, as we spoke to few people before, you can jot down all the strengths of your kid. Yeah, and then you can draw a thin line in which you all are comfortable with, your kid is comfortable with, and explore the jobs based on those aspects. Yeah, so please don't narrow down your options, please broaden the options. Yeah, so as one of the teachers said a few minutes ago, many of the engineers are in the banking job, so on and so forth. That was because of narrowing down the options instead of broadening them. Yeah, so and one more aspect which I want to tell all the teachers, sorry, all the parents here, don't look down upon any kind of job, please, because there is always a tension based on the paycheck versus the job, right? So mind you, I have my uncle who is selling needles as small as needles. He's a multi-millionaire. He's the richest person in our family, mind you. Not even engineers, doctors are earning so much of money, if you are looking at the money aspect. So I would suggest your kid to take up some niche, something which he or she likes. And in case you want to take the traditional approach, you need not fret. Continue with your traditional education while starting a Sunday project. And in case the Sunday project kicks off, well and good, then he or she can take up that. Example, me, I have the writing profession as well, right? I earn a decent amount because I'm selling well. I earn a decent amount from that. I can well stop my job, the software engineering, but I like the job. It gives me some kick when I solve some code, some solution, some questions, some logical iterations. That gives me some encouragement. So I like that kick, and that's the reason I'm here. So nevertheless, I can well ahead quit my job today. So having said that, please encourage, just to summarize, please encourage your kid to start a um, Sunday project, and follow the traditional education. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you stop your kid going to the school right away, right, and start the Sunday project. No, those drastic decisions might turn ugly, right? So that's it from my side. Any
Well,
more questions?
thank you, Chandan. Thank you for sharing the insights that you have had writing these two books, three books, and now we're waiting for your fourth one to come out. And thank you for sharing your insights that you've had actually talking to these 1,000+ students. Any last tip you'd like to leave us with before we sign off for tonight?
uh, I request everybody to enjoy the parenthood. Challenges come and go, but one thing which stays forever is the love which you have for your kids. So just keep loving them and spend more time with them and enjoy.
Well, thank you. With that, thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Chandan, for being on Sipping Thoughts. Good
Thanks a
night.
lot. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Bye bye. Thank you, Sukriti. Thanks.